Okay, so there are a lot of reasons why Taylor Swift's album Fearless, which is her sophomore album, is a really good album. Her best album and uh, a great album. Um, I'm going to focus on some points that just come from the first three tracks, and then we'll do more videos with more tracks, and we'll focus on different aspects using the other tracks as focal points. Okay, so the first three tracks are Fearless, 15, and Love Story. All three songs that got really popular and are three of her greatest songs that exist even now. There's already just with these three songs, we can notice that something happens. Generically lined through, especially the first two, and then we get an additional pop on the third. And this happens more throughout the album, but most very clearly in these first songs. So there's kind of a cacophony of emotions and perspectives, lots of different views and things, and angles of emotions and dramas explored. It's not a very stagnant record as far as topic goes. And the first two songs kind of have this really cool interaction. So we get the first song, which is called Fearless, and that's pretty self-explanatory. And some of the lyrics go like this. I don't know it gets better than this. You take my hand and drag me headfirst, fearless. And I don't know why, but with you I dance in a storm in my best dress, fearless. So you've got this song where it's like, I'm really cool. I think the song is about a guy, how he's cool, and she's so happy to be around, and she's super happy, super confident, and she's got this very relaxed ease confidence about her, and it's like the exact feeling you would have if you were like in high school or college and everything was just going well, right? You have just kind of easy breezy, like fearless, I can do anything sort of attitude. That's the first song. And then the second song cleverly goes into, okay, so the first song is I'm fearless, and the second song is and here's how I can help, right? So it's called 15, and it's about high school, and it's about new freshman girls coming in. I guess it could be guys. No, it's girls for sure. Girls coming in, and they're not fearless. And then so she gives her advice from this position of fearlessness that she has cultivated. She gives advice to the 15-year-olds coming in. So she says things like, count to 10, take it in, this life before you, know who you're going to be at 15. Right, so there's this very clever and very intentional play of different perspectives. And then we go into the third song with Love Story, which was her first giant international hit and is a great song. And that's yet another perspective. Now, it doesn't tie in as directly to the first two, but it is a third thing. And the love story is one of the most important and big tropes for young people, which is what? Breaking out and doing things that you're not sure will be approved of. And the song is about being kind of questioning dating this boy. My dad doesn't like this guy. I kind of want to do it. I want to go for it. And she has like a line. It's like, they keep telling me how to feel, right? Which is a very relatable thing. Now, this is very important for that age because it sets up the idea of experimenting, breaking out of the mold, experimenting, like not necessarily relying 100% on the authorities around you, and going and trying new things. Even though those authorities are like, it's kind of like a clean break in your life, one of your first ones at this age. Your parents say do X and you say, no, I'm going to do Y instead. Or at least in this case, she's kind of lightly questioning it. It's way different than rebelling. So rebelling is like intentional and intellectual, and honestly, it's only an adult thing, really. Where exploring it in an oppositional way to authority is emotional based, and it always is going to be a touch and go, right? It's like do the experiment, get the result, find out what happens. That's what the song is about. In this case, she gets proposed to. Right, so and that's a very important thing for kids to learn how to explore and learn how to experiment and to, never stop doing that. I think when they stop doing that, either they don't learn that or they stop doing that is when it actually turns into rebellion, right? So you explore and then you find your path and you follow it. So that's one of the cool things about these first 3 tracks and the whole record as a whole. Another thing which is extremely good that she does a lot is integrates the music, the musical style, the tempos, the poetry, the chords. The lyrics are in the music is integrated very well. So here's the first song. It's called Fearless. It's about driving, and there's lots of car imagery, just kind of driving down the road, taking everything really easy because you're just super confident. And the music sits at like 100 BPMs, and what that is like very close to a walking tempo. So you've got these types of songs that sit in this walking tempo range, and some of them are slow walks, mid, or like a casual walk, or kind of a quicker pace. And they always have this certain feel. And it makes 100% sense that a walking tempo is going to be comfortable to us. Because, if music didn't originally come from the biology of a person's biology and their connection with nature, walking, heartbeats, things like this, then I don't know what it did come from, right? So there's our first rhythm, and our first beat is our heartbeat, but our more one that we have as as something we do intentionally is walking. And walking is a very tempo thing. Everyone knows, and everyone can stay in tempo. It's pretty easy. The hard part is when you add a lot of weird things and you're still trying to stay in tempo. That's at my piano. One of my music professors always gave the example of a wheel. Like a wheel is a retardando. Like everyone knows how. It's so crazy how even a high school band can just slow down the end of a song at the same time. Because a wheel does it too, Anyway, so when we have these songs that are at that walking tempo, that's like taking a walk in nature, and that's kind of getting back to that really easygoing and simple, natural feel, and it really is a relaxing. And so in this way, the lyrics about being easy breezy and fearless are integrated very well with the music. And this song actually really digs into it by a really heavy snare. So, and the song actually, I know I'm not full of shit because the song actually starts with a snare. The first thing we hear on this whole album is, right? So it starts off with that snare because it's setting up that walk. It's that first step. Very cool. The third thing I want to talk about is how she puts herself in the music. Now, an artist always makes a masterpiece. It always involves putting themselves in the art, and this happens through a couple different ways. One, kind of casually as characters in the story, sometimes even more casually as narrators, sometimes aggressively as characters in the story, sometimes they explicitly put themselves in the story. Music, and pop music especially, sad music, slow music, happy music, does this where the people are they're writing from their emotions, because music is a very emotional event. So the best way to do that is to write about yourself a lot of times. And Taylor Swift, everyone knows, does this more than anyone. And when it becomes explicit, it becomes more powerful because you get this. When you listen, okay, let me go back a little bit. When you listen to a song and it's a relatable event or feeling, you relate to it. It gives you permission to feel that comfortably. But when you know explicitly that this is not a fictional thing and someone is behind it, then you have, not only is this a real thing, but someone is going through this, and there are other people, and they are real, and they are alive, and I am not alone. Now, Taylor Swift never comes out in the music and explicitly says, yes, this is about something I've gone through, but it's so heavy that it's an obvious thing, and then she also does it in a meta way outside of the music. Okay, so those are just 3 points, and we're going to have lots of parts to these videos.